Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about how to create an Angular project from scratch. I will not talk about backend or database, just the front end. So first, ng new, let's call it the project debug tips. And you want routing equals true and style equals SESS. Takes a few seconds. Yeah, this CPU is pretty fast. Ryzen 5 3600X. Now, next step, you navigate into your folder. The stuff you just created, debug tips, ng add Angular material. Because the material library is made with Angular, it serves Angular. You will have a lot fewer hiccups if you use material library compared to other libraries custom made for Angular. So use it. Okay, now you have imported material library. Let's serve the app, see what it looks like. Ng serve and open new browser. The compiling takes a little bit of time, but not too much. This is a blank project. Okay, so this is the project you just created. It doesn't look very nice because Angular CLI by default create a lot of help files. So let's just create another terminal and let's open that stuff. Debug tips. Okay. So we did enter another terminal. Let's serve it again. Before we serve, let's Control P to find the app component HTML file. There are just so much stuff that we do not need. Now if you ng serve, you will see that those default materials are gone, which is very convenient. Because yeah, there's a blank page now, which is very nice. Now the next thing you want to add some contents because your app is blank. Let's add a bunch of components, ng generated components. Let's put it into this components folder and call it top bar, which is a navigation bar on top, and module let's equals app module. Let's create a bunch of other components. Let's create two more components. Top bar, let's call it home page. Yeah. Let's create this help page. Okay, we created three components. They are under this component folder. So these are eagerly loaded components. You want to use them right away because once you upload, you want something to be interactive so the users can interact with it. That's the home page, the top bar, and the help page. Let's render them in the app routing module. The home page should be displayed by default. So let's go to app routing module and let's path. That's the default. And component, that is the home component. And path, let's call it help. The component is your help component. Okay, that's the routing file. Next, you want to go to your home page. Go to this app component HTML, this top file. Yeah. Here you have the routing module already. Let's just display app top bar component. This guy should be displayed all the time. Let's take a look at our app. So we have top bar works, which is the top bar component always displayed, and home is displayed because the default is URL. Let's use help. Okay, help works. So now we have something to be displayed. The next step is to we already added material library. Let's import some styles, material components, which I already did in another file, so another project. So instead of typing all the scores of code, let's just ng generate module and call it modules and shared module. And it should be a sub-module of app module. Okay, it's all done. Let's just copy the code. App modules shared module. This is the file. And you want to copy paste over all the code from my other file because typing these will take quite a bit of time. So these are material stuff you want to use. You import a whole bunch of stuff like top bar and menu, whatever. Now next let's create some colors because our text is kind of bland. There's no color. Let's create another folder. Let's cd. Okay, let's create under the app folder. Go to make directory. Let's call it styles. And touch theme.scss. So this theme file will create some colors. Okay, here, styles theme. Let's just copy the predefined colors from another module. Another project, because typing them takes too much time. And then let's go to that global style file and import that those colors we just defined. So you can use these new colors anywhere in your app. Okay, that's quite a bit. Now we have some components defined, and let's just style for example, the home page. Instead of homeworks, let's type something else. Division class equals material mat h1. That's the font. And welcome to Angular debug tips. By the way, while I'm typing, I have a huge Blue Yeti microphone between me and my keyboard, so that hampers my typing. Apologize if I have a lot of typos. Like paragraph. The following tips can help debug your Angular app. Let's use unordered list. List items. Type annotation. You're using TypeScript, of course. That should be very useful. Another example is let's see, JavaScript debugger. Okay, let's don't go crazy. This is just a demo. Save this app. You can see we have this new style. Let's go to the home page first. Welcome to Angular debug tips. The following tips can help debug your Angular app. Type annotation JavaScript debugger. This works, but I notice the text is right at the edge. Let's define some class margin, which is 10 pixel margin, and we can now put our route outlet under division class equals margin. So we have extra container here. So what happens here is that if you look at this app now, the text have 10 pixels of margin around it, so it does not hit the border, yeah, which makes it looks nicer. Now the top bar will need some style. So the top bar here, it looks too bland. Let's copy some predefined styles from my other project to this file. Okay, let's go to this top bar component, a template. So first thing you want to type is how do you design a top bar? Usually you will have a few icons, right? Mat toolbar color equals primary, which we defined already. So the bar will be dark, kind of indigo color, and you want to put an icon for navigation. Let's call it mat menu. Let's call it main menu. So here the icon should be a menu icon, right? And we didn't define this mat menu, main menu item yet. Let's define them. So all these guys, the mat toolbar, mat icon, mat menu, were imported just now in that shared module. So it's very convenient, right? Let's put at least one menu item here. Button, mat menu item, router link is equal to that home page. So the button, and here the button, let's use mat icon. Let's go to home. Okay, let's take a look at our web page. So here we have a menu button, we have a home page, which looks nicer. So obviously we want some other stuff. It's still too simple. Usually you want a title of your app on your top bar. So let's create division. Let's just type Angular debugging tips, and let's put another icon, mat icon. So this router link should be your help file. So we didn't use single quote. So what happens here is that now we have this app, we have this help file. Click on this help works. Go home, you're welcome to Angular debug tips. Let's add something to the help component, because now just a help works. Division class equals mat h1. Just put help. What do we put on here? Just single. Okay, let's just not even use this one. Let's use just my email. Mail to and email me. That's it. Go to the help pod. So you click on this button, you can email me. You navigate, click on this button, you go to the home page. So that's a little bit of navigation done. It's simple enough, right? Not too difficult. So next, let's create a feature module. So feature modules are usually lazily loaded, because you do not want your app to wait until everything to be loaded before the user can interact. If a feature is not immediately needed, you should use lazy loading. That makes your app a lot more responsive. Okay, to generate lazy loading module, let's still use that module folder. Remember, we already have this module folder, and there's a shared module. Let's ng generate module, and it's under modules. And here we create another subfolder called lazy, and let's call this module so type annotation. Here we want to create a route, which is type annotations. This is how you access in your router link, yeah. And then you want to create a module, which is the parent module, which is app. Okay, now you have a module here. By the way, if the module is complex enough, this type annotation module is complex enough, you will create a lot of routes, its own routes. Now let's take a look at our app. So we got a lazy loaded module here. So here we have created a new module called a type annotation. That's the router link. Okay, type annotation works. This lazy loaded module has been created. And of course we can just edit something. Go to that, you go to app routing module, you can see this guy has been added automatically. Why is this exceed the maximum length? Okay, this, yeah, you can create a line break or something. Doesn't matter, it's just a style, has no impact. Now you can go to your new module, this homepage. Of course, if it's, as I mentioned, if it's complex enough, you can add a lot of components, add your own routing here, sub-routing system. Let's just add something. What do you want to type? Type annotation. Prevent bugs. Nip the problem in the bud. Okay, kind of silly. I apologize. This probably doesn't make any sense. Type annotation nips the problem in the bud. Okay, as a title, this is too long. Let's just use type annotation. Okay, let's not spend too much time on these guys. So that's the type annotation. Type annotation nips the problem in the bud. Okay, guess what I just did? I just Googled because I didn't know if NIPS should be an IPPS or an IPS. I just Googled to confirm that NIPS is an IPS. Now let's put this lazily loaded module into our navigation menu. So if you go to app routing module, it already have this router path type annotation. So let's go to our top bar component here. The easiest way is Control P and top bar. That's much easier. Now we have one menu item. Now let's add another button menu item. Router link is now equal to type annotation, and here we do not use any icons because I don't think what is icon for type annotation. So let's just type some words. Type annotation. Save it. Okay, let's look at the app now. Let's go to home page and have the help page. Go to this type annotation. Okay, everything works. So that's how you create this kind of default Angular project. I think this is long enough. This video is long enough. Okay, thank you guys.